So these are notes for surface area of pyramids and cones, the pointy things, your lethal weapons. These are notes for 11-6. I'm violent by nature, apparently. All right, so our formula, as I was talking about earlier, are these right here. Again, lateral area is part of that formula. I don't like to use a little p. I like to use a capital P, and then that's a cursive L. That's a little cursive L in there, a little cursive L in there. So this right here, we were just talking about, people on the video watching it missed it, this is your slant height. So as I said before, the slant height is always the height of that triangular face. The triangular face is part of the lateral area, lat fat going around that base. And this is the height of the pyramid itself. We won't use that for surface area. Only this slant height. Again, this edge right here is not the slant height. It has to be that height. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to do just number 2 because these are all pretty straightforward. They're all square pyramids on this one. Can I help you too? Because I thought there might be some confusion with all that talking going on. So we're going to start with our formula. Surface area, again, the more times you write it, the more likely you are to learn it. 1/2. I actually like to write it PL. Just like I like to write it PH, but you can write it whatever order you want to. Plus, this time we only have one base because we don't have 2 bases, so it can't be 2 big B, it has to be 1 big B. So I have to find my perimeter, my slant height, and my big B. So have they given you slant height? Do you have the height of the triangular face? Yeah. So that one's right there, straight out for you. This is cursive L, slant height. Why they use cursive L when it sounds like length, I don't know. I wasn't in charge. They didn't ask me. Big B is the shape of what? What's the shape of my base? A square. So isn't the area formula for a square side squared? Or length times width, or base times height? I like side squared. What's the length of my side? 5 inches. So I'm going to find that so that I can put that in my formula. 5 squared is 25 inches squared. So I've got piece 1. I have piece 2. What's missing? Perimeter. So let's find perimeter. So piece 3. Perimeter. I'm just going to walk around my base. Well, isn't this a square? I mean, I could do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, but how many sides are there? How many sides are there? 4. So can't I just do 4 times 5? And so that gives me 20 inches. Right? Now I have everything I need. I can just plug and chug. So I have surface area is equal to 1/2. My perimeter we just found was 20 inches. My slant height was given, but we had to identify it, 7.4 inches. Plus my big B we just found, 25 inches squared. So really all you have to do is figure out this part. So take a calculator, 20 times 7.4 equals, divide by 2. What do you get? What'd you get? Did you divide 20 times 7.4 divided by 2? You should get 74. Clear it first. Are you using a graphing calculator? Make sure you hit enter after you multiply. So you get 74 inches squared plus 25 inches squared. So total surface area, if you add those together, is 99 inches squared. What's lateral area? Yeah, so your lateral area is this part. This is lateral area plus big B. So the part that has a cursive L or the part that has an H in it is always your lateral area. So this becomes your lateral area, which is the 74 inches squared. So these are the two answers I'm looking for. So the only thing that's different from what we just did in 11-5 is we're just using a different formula, right? Other than that, everything else is the same. Yes?
So on the test, if it doesn't ask for...
I would still split them out,
So we should still say...
but you can just give me that answer on the test. But I would still split them out because I award partial credit. If you get this wrong and I don't see the split out, I can't give you, like, let's say it's worth 4 points. I can't give you 2 points out of the 4 because I can't see what these are. I'd probably mark off 3 as long as you substitute it correctly in here. You know, if I don't see the substitution, you just go from, you know, this to an answer, you get no credit because I have no idea what you substituted in. So, you know, more work is always better. You good? Okay. So then let's do number 4. Please shade in what you think the base is. Where do you think the base is? Did you shade this one in? Okay, because the point is right above it, right? The reason why I shade that one in is look what they've given you. First of all, if I'm going to find big B, so let's just do number 1 up here, big B. What's the area formula for that shape? 1/2, and it's base of the triangular base times the height of the triangular base. Do you see 2 perpendicular pieces on that triangular base? So that means that this is the height of the triangular base, and this is the base of that triangular base. You could have used instead this as your base, of course. You're still going to get, you might get a different lateral area, but you're still going to get the correct total surface area. So if you want to do that on your own, you're welcome to. Just compare to see what we're doing. So then I'm going to go ahead and find my big B, 1/2 times, I'm going to plug in 10 inches, and then my height is 8.7 inches. And if I multiply 10 times 8.7, I get 87 divided by 2. My big B ends up being 43.5 inches squared. So that's 1. So I've got big B out of my formula. I have to find P perimeter. So let's find that next. Do I have all the information for perimeter? Walk around. Do you have all the information here? It says probably why I wouldn't have used this one, Serena. Because now when I go to do this one, I don't have that. I can only assume that it's a 10 by 10 by 10, but I don't know that for sure because there's no tick marks. But I do know for sure that I have all 3 of those sides. So that's why I'm going to choose that as my base because it's so much easier to find the perimeter. Does that make sense? So don't I have 3 sides that are identical? So 3 times 10 inches gives you a perimeter of 30 inches. What's left to find? What's left out of the formula? I've got P for perimeter, I've got big B for my base, the slant height. So which piece is the slant height? Yeah, this is the height of a lateral face, because if this is my base, it can't be a lateral face. This is the height of that lateral face, so you are correct. This represents cursive L. And so that's your 3rd piece. So now we've gathered all of our data. We're ready to run the formula. So step 4, surface area is equal to 1/2 P cursive L plus big B. What's underneath that? Brooke, pick up the black thing. All right, so plug in. So 1/2 times your perimeter is 30 inches. Your slant height we found was 6.7 inches. And then plus your big B we found was 43.5 inches squared. So then all you have to do is simplify this. You've got 30 times 6.7 equals, and then divide by 2. So tell me what you get. No, just for that piece. You gave me the whole thing. So just for the lateral area, you've got 100.5 inches squared plus the 43.5 inches squared. And then add all of that together. Now you have 144. Whoops. Yeah, 144 inches squared. And then what's your lateral area? The 100.5 inches squared. Then we're going to talk briefly about number 6. It looks like it's difficult because what's the base? It's a hexagon. But look what they gave you. Didn't they do all the work for you? This is a regular hexagon. We could have used 1/2 PA, but they found big B for you. Yippee skippy, jump up for joy, clap your hands, right? So all we have to know is the perimeter of that base. How hard is it to find the perimeter of that base? Do you know a side length? Whoops. Yeah, 6. So there's 6 sides on there, so 6 times 6, you now have your perimeter. All that's left is slant height. What's the slant height? That is the height of a lateral face. So they've given everything to you, haven't they? Pretty much. You just have to find perimeter. So we're not going to find that one. You just run it through the formula. But don't let these things freak you out. They already found big B for you. All right, next page. We're going to do one on this page, which is the cone. So your cone formula is this right here. Very similar to what we just did, except we have pi RL. Again, we have your slant height. So this is your slant height. Oopsie. So this is your slant height. And then your radius, that's all we use. Pi r squared is your big B. So this is our big B. This is going to be our lateral area, the pi RL. You will find me writing the lateral area first, so I will always write pi RL first, and then plus the pi r squared. If you want to put big B, knowing that the area formula for a circle is pi r squared, that's fine. However you want to do it. But all I need to know is radius and slant height. So here's my surface area formula. So I start with my lateral area. So pi RL plus pi r squared. So did they give me the radius? Yes? What's this? That's my diameter. So if this is my diameter, what's my radius? 13.5. And that's millimeters. What's my slant height? Yep, this is the slanted part, right? So this is my cursive L. Do you see how they could make a right triangle here by giving you the height of the cone along with that slant height, and you could use right triangle theorems? So always look for those right triangle theorems that could be thrown at you. So then we're just going to plug and chug into our formula. Pi times our radius of 13.5. I'm leaving my units of measure out because I'm going to run out of room. Times my slant height of 32.9 plus pi times my radius of 13.5. And that's squared. So you have to clean everything up. I would wait to multiply your pi out. So you're going to just go to multiply 13.5 times 32.9. So this becomes 444.15 pi, and then that's going to be millimeters squared, plus your 13.5 squared is 182.5 pi millimeters squared. Add them all together, you have surface area. So we get 626.4 pi millimeters squared. And your lateral area is what? Yep, this is your lateral area. This is your plus big B. So this is your lateral area. 444.15 pi millimeters squared. And then the applications are just the same as what we did on that last one.